Howdy, Homo sapiens. So our country, like every country, faces lots of problems. Poverty, inequality, violence, mental health, and affordable healthcare are some of our biggest. And with these problems come lots of different proposed policies meant to be solutions, and we all have our favored solutions. But I've noticed something strange that happens when people debate about proposed solutions. It can be broken down into two distinct scenarios, but they both have to do with the same issue. That is, people conflating problems with solutions. They are not the same thing. Scenario number one is what I like to call, after much thought about a good name, the straw man of denial. Example, John is talking to his brother-in-law, Mortimer, about gun control. Did you see the news? We just need to ban assault weapons and end this mass shooting madness. We do need to stop it, but I don't think a ban will work. We'll create a black market for those guns then. We really need to greatly expand background checks as well as deal with mental health too. What do you mean it won't work? How can you say that when we see innocent children killed every day? See, these two people didn't disagree that there was a big problem with mass shootings. They simply disagreed on solutions. But John accused Mortimer of denying or unappreciating the problem. John committed a weird straw man fallacy, acting as if Mortimer didn't care about the problem at all. This was dishonest. For those who don't know, straw manning is when you misrepresent your opponent's argument dishonestly, usually by caricaturizing it in the extreme in order to discredit it. You're arguing against the straw man argument you created, not your opponent's argument. Here's another example between Bertha and Finkel. I can't believe that the regime just took over and is executing citizens in the town square. Did you see that video? We need our military in there to put a stop to this. That video was disturbing and unacceptable. I think that committing our military is a bad idea, though. That looks like a complicated conflict with lots of history, and it would be a quagmire for us. I think it would be better to pressure that regime with sanctions, leveraging the UN to... What, so we can have more executions? More starving civilians? Do you even care about them? Again, they agreed that there was an unacceptable problem, but when Finkel proposed what he thought was a better solution, Bertha acted as if Finkel didn't care about the problem. I see this and have experienced it so many times. Now, usually it seems that whoever is proposing the more extreme solution will accuse the other of underappreciating the problem, and that's because people tend to justify severe solutions by citing severe problems. Desperate times call for desperate measures. But remember, two people can both appreciate the harm a problem causes and at the same time simply disagree on the solution. Now, scenario 2 is actually the inversion of scenario 1. This one I call, well, it's the inverted straw man denial. Basically, it's when someone is so averse to the proposed solution that they go so far as to actually deny the problem in the first place. Example, Frodo and Sam are on their way to Mount Doom and strike up a conversation about global warming. The ice caps are melting 60% faster than they were 2 decades ago. We must regulate fossil fuels in the United States. I think government regulation will stifle economic growth and lead to more unemployed coal miners. In fact, I think global warming is a hoax, Mr. Frodo. Sam! Sam was so bothered by the suggestion of the government involved in the free market that he didn't stop there and denied the problem in the first place. This has been my experience with conservatives, human or hobbit, and I think that if we ever came up with a good free market solution to global warming, a lot of them would then acknowledge the problem because the incentive to deny it would no longer be there. Global warming can be a real problem, and also we can disagree on how to handle it. But we shouldn't deny or downplay the problem. I saw the same thing happen after 9/11. Conservatives were pushing hard for expansion of the government, there's the hypocrisy, to monitor and prosecute terrorism locally with military adventures abroad. Many liberals were very uncomfortable with this, but at the time, they went so far as to downplay the threat of terrorism. Terrorism can be a very real threat, and we can also disagree on how to engage it. But we shouldn't deny or downplay the problem. One last thing. Solutions are rarely without risk. There can be two ways that they can fail. They can either A, be ineffective, or B, create new problems, or both. I'm looking at you, war on drugs. One of the biggest through lines in the history of civilization is the creation of new problems in the attempt to solve old problems. To conclude, problems and solutions are in fact separate. Don't accuse people who don't buy into your favored solution as being indifferent to the problem. Also, next time you find yourself unable to support a solution, make sure you keep your evaluation of the scope of the problem separate from your judgment of that solution. Don't downplay the problem just because you don't like the solution. Just come up with a better solution. But what about you? Have you ever been accused of or accused others of denying the problem because the solution was unacceptable? Have you yourself ever downplayed a problem because you didn't like the solution? Let me know below. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay doubtful. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please drop a like. And if you'd like to see more, please subscribe. There's a lot more to explore.